Now live from Palin Music Studios in Springfield, Missouri, it's Wake Up with Greg. Here's your host, Greg.
Hey friends, good morning and welcome to Wake Up with Greg. I'm your host, Greg Rosander with Palin Music Center. Happy Friday. Yeah, I forget we're only on Fridays now, so I should be able to remember that at this point, but you know, it's still all new to me. So happy Friday. Welcome to the show. Happy to have you here. Got a few folks on the chat already. Good morning, Max. Good morning, Ma Claire from California. Great to see y'all. It's a beautiful Friday. Well, is it beautiful? It's okay. We're in the winter, so it's been an ugly week, really. We had some really nice week last week, sunshine, and God, man, it got up to 75 degrees, and now it's gloomy and in the 40s, and yeah, it's winter, so it happens. But hey, we're here, we're doing it, we're going to have some fun. For those of you new to the show, this is Wake Up with Greg with Palin Music Center. I'm here every Friday morning, 9 a.m. Central, to share the coolest instruments on the internet with you. I've got a unique batch of instruments. Two of them I know for a fact you've never seen before, both in brand and in style of instrument. I do have one trumpet for you today. I've been showing a lot of trumpets lately, and mostly it's because we've been getting a lot of cool trumpets in. It's not that it's necessarily I'm all about trumpets, but when we get new stuff, I want to show you. So when we get new trumpets, I'm going to show them to you. But we've got a lot more new stuff coming in over the next few weeks, so hopefully I'll have a lot of cool things to show that you've never seen before. So yeah, the other two pieces, I got a Piccolo, got an Oboe. That's going to be really fun. You've never seen those on this show before. So just a reminder for you, we have the live chat going on, so please ask your questions, leave your comments. Let me know where you're watching from in the world. Would love to connect up with you and give you a shout out. Also, make sure to do all those, social media things. Hit the like button and the subscribe button and the share button. Share this with all your friends and family out there. And I think the bell so you get notified. Are we, Jordan, I don't know, are we back on both YouTube and Facebook now? Nice. Okay, so welcome to the Facebook world out there. Happy to be joining with you as well. So, yeah, I think that's all the news that's fit to print here. I mean, there's a big, what is it called, sports ball tournament going on this weekend. So I thought in light of that, I would give a little tribute to the city of New Orleans, because that's where the Super Bowl will be this weekend. We're not going to really talk about football at all, but we'll talk about New Orleans for sure. So stay tuned because we got a lot of fun stuff to come up. But before we do that, let's say good morning to Jordan. Good morning, buddy.
Hey, good morning.
Good to see you today. How are you?
Doing well.
Doing well. Anything exciting going on in your world?
The Super Bowl.
Everybody's really excited about the Super Bowl around here. Of course, we're in Missouri. Our team, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about
I'm
that.
from Kansas City, though. Don't I get like a little pass since I'm from Kansas City?
Of course you get a little. Hey, I don't begrudge anybody rooting for the teams that they love. Not at all. You support your team, and God bless you doing it.
Well, thank you.
So there we go. Yeah.
What about you? Any weekend plans?
We may watch the commercials on the Super Bowl.
There you go.
But no, I don't have any specific weekend plans. Probably just relaxing this weekend. It's been busy the past few weekends, so we'll see.
Nice.
So I guess we ought to dive into this show, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Before we get into the first instrument today, why don't you tell us about your shirt and watch you got on?
Shirt and watch. So the shirt, I decided to go with something a little maybe New Orleans flair, very colorful. This would be a great shirt to wear for Mardi Gras or something like that. It's a Daniel Cremieux, of course, which, being French has kind of the connection with New Orleans, with the French Quarter and the French Creole and Cajun. Yeah, I try to make it thematic here. So anyway, yeah, I love this shirt. Pretty colorful, lots of vibrant, fun colors. And then the watch, this is my Timex. Let me get my coffee cup out of the way there. So if you can see that. There we go. This is the Marlin, kind of vintage inspired. It's got the green, really cool green dial with the gold case, kind of alligator strap there. It's a mechanical watch, meaning you got to wind it up as opposed to run it off a battery. So old school, but one of my all-time favorites. So really cool. Classic watch there. So there you go. That's the watch. That's the shirt. That's the game. Why don't we jump into some horns? Let's do it. All right. I'm going to set my coffee aside. This is going to be like true unboxing today. I'm actually haven't even opened up these instruments yet. We're going to start with a Yamaha Piccolo. So let me crack this boy open. I'll get my gloves on here in a second and talk about what we have here. All right, there we go. Set that aside. This is the Yamaha YPC for Yamaha Piccolo 62R. And the R, which is weird, it stands for the wave head joint. And we'll talk about that here in a second. So, well, first of all, show you the French style case there. Very simple, clean lines, sure, nothing fancy. My earpiece doesn't want to stay in here, but we'll make that work. All right, and then inside the case, we have just the little Piccolo guy right there. Okay, ta-da-da-da. And then we'll unwrap this, and we'll get my gloves on, and we'll take the gloves first. Don't want to get these all fingerprinty. For those of you who aren't familiar with what a piccolo is, a piccolo is in the flute family, of course, and is a higher pitched instrument. I believe it's an octave above the standard C flute. You flute folks out there can correct me if I'm wrong. But this is a professional grade piccolo made of grenadilla wood, also known as African blackwood, and has a really beautiful sound. Silver plated keys. And then the wave cut lip plate or embouchure hole. What do you call it on a piccolo? Because there's no actual lip plate there like on an actual flute. But here it's a little bitty guy. If you're familiar with any of the marches of John Philip Sousa, then you're familiar with how the piccolo sounds, especially that the Stars and Stripes Forever, the famous march, has a really important piccolo part. So the wave cut head joint is just the way it's a different cut. It allows it to project a little bit more, gives you a bit more power, a bit more flexibility in the tone. But man, this is just a really beautiful instrument, and it's teeny tiny. All silver plated keys, grenadilla wood head joint and body. This is great. I would recommend this as kind of your indoor piccolo. I wouldn't necessarily use this in a marching situation, being that it's wood. You could, you just have to care for it very carefully. But there it is, the Yamaha YPC 62R piccolo. Let me see if there's any other details I missed on here. This does have a split E mechanism on it, which for some reason in flutes and piccolos, the E note is notoriously difficult for intonation. So with the split E on there, that gives you the ability to play that E note in tune better. But there you go. It's so little, there's not a whole lot to show. But you've not seen one on this show before, and now you have. So one more time, this is the Yamaha YPC 62R. This will be up on the website later today. We've got to get pictures of it first. Like I said, I just took it out of the box just now. You saw me do it. So that's what we've got there. So we'll wrap this back up here real quick. You know what? I'm going to wait and do the bulk of that later so I can save time for you guys. Put that in there the right way. Boom. There we go. All right. We'll set that one aside.
All right.
Boom. Ta-da.
Well, are you ready to recommend some music to us?
I am. So sticking with the New Orleans theme here, there is a course, New Orleans is one of the, if not the birthplace of jazz, the great American art form. Some legendary musicians came out of New Orleans, of course, the great Louis Armstrong, Jelly Roll Morton, not the Jelly Roll that does the country music today, but the jazz pianist Jelly Roll Morton. Of course, the great Pete Fountain, clarinetist, the Marsalis family, Ellis Marsalis, Branford Marsalis, Wynton Marsalis, and all the rest of them. Of course, my favorite, Mr. Harry Connick Jr., and then another new artist, very popular out of New Orleans, trombone Shorty. We may feature some stuff of his on the show here before too long. But the New Orleans jazz is kind of typified as being very improvisational, and usually in a group, all of the performers are playing improvisationally at the same time. Usually one or two of the players have the melody, and then everybody's just kind of floating around them in a sense. And one of the greatest representations of that is the great Preservation Hall Jazz Band. Preservation Hall Jazz Band started, I actually was surprised, it started in the 60s. I thought it was much older than that. Of course, the musical style is much older than that, started in the teens and 20s for sure. But Preservation Hall is down on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, and it's a very small venue, and you go into this place, you actually sit on the floor right in front of the band as they're playing. So I've got a song from the Preservation Hall Jazz Band called Tailgate Ramble. I figured, we got a football weekend coming up. We can talk about tailgating. The version of tailgate is more about music than it is about food and fun, but take a look at this little video. You can get an idea of what Preservation Hall Jazz Band is like, and love the song Tailgate Ramble. Good morning, Amber. I'll see you on the chat there. So the typical makeup of a New Orleans group, you've got saxophone, trumpet, clarinet, trombone. You've got a sousaphone in the background there providing the bass. So you kind of get the idea of how that works. Pause it for a second, Jordan. So you can kind of hear how all of the players are playing something different, but it all comes together in this one cohesive, amazing style of music. In this video, I think the lyrics are a little bit hard to hear. I'll let you roll it for a little bit longer and see. But he's talking about driving around the country, taking the tailgate down and playing gigs wherever you go. So. Apparently there's an elephant in the group. You can probably forward a little bit and catch his clarinet solo if you can move it forward a little bit and see. There you go. I do that all the time. What are you talking about? together and finish it out. You can see the the people just sitting on the floor there right in front of the band. It's a very small room. Pretty hard to get into, actually, ticket-wise. You got to plan way ahead to make sure you get, because it's so limited as far as the number of seats or floor spaces. There you go. All right. Tailgate Ramble by the Preservation Hall Jazz Band. I will be adding that to the Wake Up with Greg playlist on Spotify for you, so you can listen to that along with the other 16 hours of music that we've got on there, all the songs we recommend on the show. Hey, and just a thought made me think of, we are coming up on the 1-year anniversary of Wake Up with Greg. Yeah, next, actually 2 weeks. 2 weeks will be our 1-year anniversary. Yeah. Our first episode was February 19th last year. I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Crazy. All right. So that's my musical choice. Check it out. All right. We've got another instrument to share with you today. Where did I put it? Here we go. All right. Now, this is an oboe, and I've never shared an oboe on the show before. Oboes, just like flutes and piccolos, are keyed in C. So what's great about that is when you play a C on a piccolo or an oboe or a flute, it sounds the same as it would be on a piano. So they're non-transposing instruments, which make them easy to play in that regard. Now, that being said, oboes are not necessarily easy to play. They're a double reed instrument. And if you don't know what that means, clarinets, saxophones, they are single reed instruments where you just have one flat reed. The oboe and the bassoon and English horn, they have a double reed where you've got two reeds that are bound together with a little gap in between them. And so the way to produce the sound is a little bit different, a little bit more difficult to be, if I'm being honest. All right, so this is the YOB 441 MT Duet Plus. There's a whole lot going on there, and I'll unpack that here for you in a minute, what that all means. But this is actually an intermediate level oboe. It is still a grenadilla wood. But let me crack this open for you. They always come in, French style cases as well, which kind of cool. You can see that there. And then we'll show you the oboe. Dun, 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 dun. What it looks like fresh out of the box. And then we'll unwrap this and put it together for you. Oboes, for me, oboes and bassoons have a much more complicated key mechanism that I've never actually tried playing oboe. I played bassoon in high school for a semester and absolutely loved it, honestly. I should have stuck with it because I could probably be playing in some major symphony somewhere today, because oboe and bassoon players are in demand, again, because they're more complicated and difficult instruments to play. So you got the ASMR thing. Get all your fun crinkly sounds in there. All right, come on. My slippery gloves don't want to take, there we go. So this is an all grenadilla wood oboe, but it's called the Duet Plus. And so what that means, and I'll show that, it's not really something you can see, so I'll have to tell you about it. But you can see that this really nicely built. You've got the full metal tenons on the bottom. You have, I want to make sure that I'm doing this carefully, because oboes are very picky. I don't know what the word is. When you put them together, you just have to be careful with it. Make sure all the keys are lined up properly. Okay, I think I got it. There, look at that. Ta-da! Okay, so it looks a bit like a clarinet, but the difference between a clarinet and an oboe primarily for one being the single reed versus the double reed. But then the oboe has a conical bore, which means it tapers from small to large as it goes through the horn, whereas a clarinet has a cylindrical bore, which is generally the same diameter all the way through. Now, when you're talking like the modern clarinets, like the Buffet R13s and Yamaha CSVRs and all that, where they have a polycylindrical bore, which means the bore size changes as it goes through the barrel or the body, but it's still cylindrical in nature. So conical versus cylindrical. So with this, you've got full, I believe this is a full conservatory system. You have the, they call this the American style. I'm not 100% sure what they mean by that, but hey, go America, right? This has the third octave key. I don't know if you can see that. So there, I don't know why it says third. Oh, well, because there's 2 octaves. So you've got your single octave, and then you do 1 key for the next octave up, and then a third key for your third octave up. This also has the resonance key on the bell down here to help keep the lower notes in tune better. You also have all cork pads all throughout this. So now the Duet Plus feature of this, and you can see the little Duet Plus logo on the back there. I don't know if you can see that, but so what we have is you have the wood upper joint, but then the upper joint has also been injection molded with an ABS resin that basically seals the inner bore and stabilizes it. For one, to prevent cracking. For two, I guess oboes are notorious for issues in the upper joint over time. So really, it stabilizes it, but it still maintains 90% of the wood structure, which still gives you that beautiful sound. But they're just a little bit more advanced, scientifically advanced. Would that be the way to put it? I don't know. Anyway. Let's see, what else? Is there anything else I can tell you about this particular guy? I think I hit all the major points. So this is again, the model YOB 441MT. Oh, what was the T for? Oh, the T is for the third octave key. So that's that. There you go. This will also be live on the website shortly, hopefully later today after we get the photos done. And you'll be able to take one of these home with you today. Great for your advancing oboe player in high school or college and beyond. This is a fantastic quality horn. Yamaha YOB 441. There you go. Anybody have any questions on that? Hey, Todd, can you guys fix wind instruments? Of course we can. We've got the best shops in the country in our locations here. In fact, our newly expanded facility here in Springfield, we can fix anything, whatever you need. So yeah, send us your horn. And thanks for where are you watching from, Todd? Welcome to the show. All right, so that's the oboe. We'll set that one aside and move on to the next segment here. What is that? That's all sorts of little bits and pieces inside here. All right, carefully take that apart.
Todd says he's in Piper, Kansas. What would be the best way for him to?
Piper, Kansas. Well, that's going to be closest probably to our Wichita store. All right, come on. There we go. Woo! That was a tight fit. It's good though. You wanted it that way. Yeah, Piper, Kansas. I'm not sure exactly where that is in relation to our Wichita store. We've also got a store in Overland Park, and then our store in Liberty. So one of those should be close enough to you to make it easy for you to come on by and drop off your instrument, and we'll give you a free estimate on it. We do all that for sure. And then I don't know, I need a sip of coffee here apparently. My throat's getting dry. All right, I'll get all of this plastic stuff out of the way here and move on to the last horn in a minute.
Before the last horn, can you share something cool with us?
I can certainly do that. Let me get all these bits and pieces out of the way. All right, so my something cool, as I've said, we're kind of giving a little tribute to New Orleans here. And I've been twice to New Orleans. The first time was in 2005, summer of 2005, just before Hurricane Katrina, which was an absolutely devastating situation for that city. Yeah, it was horrible. But when we were there, it was super hot. It was in June, but it felt like it was desert hot. It was super, super hot. But the city was amazing. We went to dinner at one of Emeril Lagasse's restaurants called Nola, which was amazing, and had a good time there. And then the second time when we went was in 2019 for my wife's 50th birthday. And I've got some photos here. I don't know if you'll be able to see them or not, but we'll give it a big shot. Here is a photo of me standing in front of Preservation Hall, where the band performs that we just played for you. Zoom in a little bit. There we go. All right. And then we've got me and my wife and my stepdad standing on the corner of the French Quarter there. If they're a little blurry, it's okay. We're just going to zip through these. But one of the great icons of New Orleans, Café du Monde, and the beignets and coffee, the chicory coffee. Oh, man. What an experience that was.
Are the beignets all that they're claim?
Oh, yeah. They're everything that they claim. They are one of the most amazing things you can ever eat. And you just want to make sure you get more powdered sugar. Mm-hmm. This is my wife and I standing out front of Commander's Palace restaurant where we went to celebrate her 50th birthday. I'm going to show you more about that here in just a second. A little NOLA street sign there. And a crab boil we did at a restaurant called Boil. But this restaurant called Commander's Palace is one of the oldest restaurants in the country, I think, certainly in New Orleans. We have a cookbook from them. It's one of the highest end restaurants in the country. Chefs like Emeril Lagasse kind of cut their teeth there. Man, don't quote me on this. Maybe Paul Prudhomme as well, one of the famous New Orleans chefs. But man, what an absolutely amazing culinary experience. You can see some of the photos here in the book. We've got some cocktails there. What else we got? Ooh, we got some oysters, right? New Orleans is definitely known for its food. There you go. You got some, I don't know what that is, scallops maybe or something with a trumpet. You get a trumpet with your meal. That's fun. And then more fish. Here's another bucket where it's showing where the crab the crab boil starts. Commander's Palace is one of those places where they make everything in-house. Like they make their own Worcestershire sauce. Their Bloody Marys are made from scratch 100%. The only thing I don't think they do is distill their own alcohol for it. But if you're ever down in this area, definitely make it a point to go to Commander's Palace. Go to Café du Monde. Check out the French Quarter. There's an amazing jazz museum at the old U.S. Mint, which, yeah, I don't know if you knew this or not, but we used to mint coins in New Orleans back in the late 1800s. The mint was taken over by the Confederate Army for a brief period before it came back under U.S. control. But now it's a jazz museum and a mint museum as well. What other things can I tell you about New Orleans? The Hurricane Katrina stuff, of course. Harry Connick Jr., he's one of the beloved sons of New Orleans. And he and Branford Marsalis and many others really came together to support and rebuild the musical community in New Orleans after Katrina. And there's tons and tons of interviews you can see with Harry and Branford both talking about the restoration of that, what is it, the 9th district or something like, I can't remember. New Orleans is really interesting in the way that all works out. Todd is saying he's been in our Overland Park store. Fantastic. Well, glad to have you there. And when we went to New Orleans, my mom and my stepdad went with us, and we had an absolute amazing time with them. We got to go on the riverboat Natchez, and man, it was just an awesome experience. So anyway, that's my little something cool, my little travel vlog, if you will, food vlog about New Orleans. There's going to be a lot going on there this weekend. Also, if you're ever here in Springfield, Missouri, there's an amazing New Orleans style restaurant here called Big Easy Grill. And we went there for lunch the other day, and I had some crawfish etouffee, which was off the charts. My wife had some fried oysters, or a fried oyster po' boy, which is a sandwich. And oh my goodness, the crawfish etouffee, I mean, there was a crawfish bite in every bite, and it was just really amazing. Flavor was off the charts. So get a taste of New Orleans right here in Springfield, Missouri. Take advantage of our travel voucher program and come buy a horn from me here in person. We'll go to lunch, Big Easy Cafe or Big Easy Grill, and have a good time. All right, that's enough of that. Why don't we look at another horn, shall we?
Let's do it.
Amber wants to go to NOLA. Who doesn't want to go to NOLA? All right, one final horn here. I'm going to move my coffee so I don't mess that up. As I said, we're doing straight up unboxings here. We have an extremely cool Yamaha custom trumpet. If I can find the tape. You know, I'm just going to use my knife to cut that tape. That's going to be easier here. This is the Yamaha YTR 8335 LA. So this is the Wayne Bergeron kind of signature model. For those of you not in the know, Wayne Bergeron is an amazing LA trumpet player, and he's worked closely with Yamaha in the design of their horns. And yeah, the guy's phenomenal. There's a lot of videos of him. Oop, dropping all kinds of stuff. Just the box, big deal. All right, so let's get that out of the way and see what we've got here. So the LA trumpet, what do we have here that's special about it? This comes with a two-piece valve casing, bronze bottom valve caps, a French bead rim. This is a medium-large 459 bore with a 5-inch one-piece yellow brass bell. This is definitely a jazz horn, great for session work, great for lead work, all kinds of stuff. I'm going to set all of this aside. Grab that horn out of there. Here we go. Now this one we have in the traditional lacquered finish. This is also available in silver-plated finish. But it seems like for this particular horn, more people seem to be wanting or going for this lacquered finish, which is very cool. We don't do a lot of lacquered horns because it seems like the more popular for the silver these days, but that's all right. All right, so I already kind of ran through the features really quickly. So the French bead is the rim of the bell here, and the way that is done is a much more apparently complex process than other traditional bead methods, but it really gives a great resonance to the bell, allows it to vibrate more freely. As far as decoration on here, there's little to nothing. I don't know if you can even see that on there, just the Yamaha logo. I'll hold it down there for the camera. Try to get an angle on that. Yeah, you can tell there's not much there, but anyway. So the bronze valve caps just add a really interesting color component to the sound of the horn, and has a really unique look there. Mother of pearl key touches, of course. And then this has what they call a side seam on the bell. So this is a one-piece hand-hammered bell. And typically when they assemble the horn, the seam of, you know, how this bell is wrapped and then braised together, they usually run the seam along the bottom of the bell here. But on this particular model, the seam is on the inside side of the bell. And apparently what that does is enhances the vibrations, the projection, the resonance of the horn. Interesting bits there. So that's what you've got with the LA trumpet. This is the generation 2. So people have asked about that. Is this the first or second? This is the newest version, and this is an absolutely top-notch professional horn. So I talked about the 2-piece valve casing, first slide hook, third slide ring. Of course, we have the third slide stop lock, single braced traditional tuning slide, Xeno style water keys, and everything that they've got on there. So that is the Yamaha YTR 8335 2LA. Wait, L-A, right? Is that how you do the sign language? That's L-A? I'm pretty sure that's how that is. I took 1 semester of sign language in college. Foreign language requirement. Why not sign language, huh? Okay. There you go, guys. That's the LA custom Yamaha trumpet. All right, so that is the final horn of the day. We'll wrap that one back up for you. What else we got going on, Jordan?
Only thing left is for you to share some wisdom with us.
Share some wisdom. My quote for you today is a little bit less about wisdom and about music, but it's about New Orleans. So, and from the favorite son of New Orleans, Mr. Harry Connick Jr. Put that in there safely. Clean that up in a minute. This is what Harry Connick Jr. says about New Orleans. He says, "I've been all over the world. I love New York. I love Paris, San Francisco, so many places. But there's no place like New Orleans. It's got the best food. It's got the best music. It's got the best people. It's got the most fun stuff to do." That last line is really, that hits. It's poetic, and it's got the most fun stuff to do. But no, the rest of that, I mean, the best food, the best music. My experience with the people were great in New Orleans. Speaking of the people, I forgot to mention one artist, Miss Doreen Ketchens. You've probably seen YouTube videos of her. She's a clarinetist and performs on the streets of New Orleans a lot, but she's played with orchestras, and I think she teaches as well. She is just New Orleans to the core as far as her clarinet sound is concerned. She's absolutely amazing. She's a lovely, there's a beautiful video of her. She's got her grandbaby like sleeping on her chest while she's playing the clarinet. It's like one of the sweetest things you'll ever see. So look up Miss Doreen Ketchens on YouTube. We were very fortunate to catch her when we were there in 2019, and unfortunately just came up like at the end of her set. So, but we did get to see her for a brief period, and she's absolutely amazing. So anyway, so that's my, call it wisdom, call it just, food for thought about New Orleans. I hope you've enjoyed my little tribute to New Orleans today. I don't have the, the Mardi Gras beads and all that, but it is what it is. It's all good. So appreciate you guys being here. We'll be back here next Friday, Valentine's Day, February 14th at 9 a.m. right here. We'll show some cool horns, and we'll be all about love next Friday. So, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Remember this, helping people make meaningful music is what we do. And when you're ready, I'm here for you too. Have a good day. Bye-bye.